Okay, now we're going to talk about, in case you skipped a lot of the other stuff, how we will try to get clients through using Facebook. Again, as I'm going to say this for all three of them, if you talk to anybody or any expert about marketing or tactics for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever the case may be, they'll all give you different tips and techniques, so you can talk to anyone you want. I can only give you information of things that I have tried or things that work, so I'm going to give you the best advice I have about things that have worked. And of all the ways that I have used social media to gain tarot reading clients, I will say that Facebook in general is the hardest to do it organically or for free versus some of the ways we talked about, Instagram or YouTube. I'll show you. Because they want to really make it so hard, other than posting, right? So you can post on your pages to, I think as you start your business, you should definitely start your business with friends and family or people who know you, get referrals from there, expand your circle before strangers, right? So if you have a network of people, with certain followers, number of people, friends from way back, tap into that audience first, see who's interested. Some of them may feel like they're too close to you and not want to do tarot readings with you on personal topics because they don't want you knowing their business, and that's fine. But other people within that circle are more likely to know, like, and trust you and will give you a try as you start your own business. So I really feel like you should always start off trying to tap into your current audiences before branching out and trying to go to total strangers. If you are going to try to do that, I think on Facebook, have had the most success on Facebook using paid ads. And I'm not going to go through the paid ads through this because it is super complicated and it's a whole separate thing, and marketing experts are way better telling you how to do Facebook ads than I would. But I'll give you some of the tips that I have. In fact, 99% of you are probably in my audience or have gone through these courses due to conversion through a Facebook ad. So they do work. But I feel like that's why some of the things we'll talk about, other than just posting on your own posts or your groups or whatever you've got, going that your audiences, Facebook's going to make it really hard for you, because I even did the work where I paid to get people into a group, and you think, okay, I got hundreds to nearly 1,000 people in a Facebook group, and I'll nurture them there, and I'll try to get them to convert to readings and whatnot. But even then, Facebook kind of restricts who sees it, so only about 10% of your group will see your posts at any given time, because they don't want you having that free range and free access to people. They want you to pay through an ad to get to the people. You say that doesn't make sense because they're already in my group and they wanted to be there. Yes, I know, but that's not the way Facebook works. So if you post into groups and you do it, on average, only 10% of your group will actually see those posts, because that's the way Facebook prioritizes it. So I am going to show you something that's a little interesting, and that I learned that might be, at first it was super annoying and may be helpful to some of you. We'll go through this. Have you ever seen this occur if you've had your own Facebook groups or been members of Facebook groups? So that's why I kind of put the groups logo and page to show you. There are people who go live or post videos in that group, and it says it comes from some other page or already has some more detailed information. So I've got some Facebook groups going, and so I kind of hid the person's name a little bit here, but someone went live in one of my groups. This happens regularly. And they're doing some healing messages and so forth, and you can see it has a link on the bottom here to their services. So someone's really trying to basically advertise to your group or post videos or go lives and all that kind of stuff into your page, and then really advertise their own services to your group. So that's why anyone who manages a group, you got to be careful who you let in or vet them, because you just don't want spammers coming in spamming your whole group. And people will get annoyed and they'll leave your group if that happens too often. And plus, rather than you having the access to your group, they're just going to steal all the access to their group by spamming them, right? But I didn't realize what was going on for a while until I figured out this trick of what they're doing. So it would be very hard for you and time consuming to go live or post a video in every single Facebook group that you're in to reach a large audience. So there's a trick that these people do that I'll take you through to see if it's helpful for you at any point, or just kind of show you some things that you can do. So we'll go back to this here. So in Facebook, you obviously have Facebook groups that you go to. It could be Learn to Read Tarot, tarot reading for beginners, tarot with David, wherever the case may be. And then you also have Facebook pages. And those are the groups are the ones you join. You may or may not need to answer some questions to gain access. But then you have Facebook pages, which you often see for like a business or something like that, where all they really want you to do is like the page, and maybe you'll see some of their posts, either for the business or what the case may be. The distinction between these two is going to become super critical for each of these. So if you haven't had experience starting your own Facebook group or starting your own Facebook page, then the differences, they kind of get blurred together, but those differences are going to become super important as we go through it. And that's why I'll kind of put on the top in the corner which one we're talking about. So here's the trick if you want to do what these spammers are doing. And I did this as an experiment. So if you have a Facebook page, so I have Facebook pages for many different things. I have some for my mindfulness, Inner Wisdom Society. I've got things for tarot reading, astrology, numerology. As I've talked through, I have pages for all of those services, so I can run Facebook ads or whatever the case may be. If you post any video, you could go live, or you could post just a recorded video. So this is literally, I took stock footage from the internet and just made a compilation video of some mindful stock images, or stock videos, right? So it's only a minute-long video, because I wanted to do this test, just to test this out, see what happened. And you can see it's mindful stuff, people walking through, people doing yoga, whatever the case may be. I got this video in front of 900, almost 1,000 people, and using this trick that people are doing to spam all the groups. So if you have a page, in my case it'd be Inner Wisdom Society, and you post your own video on there, so if you want to promote your tarot business, it could be a free reading for the month. I'm going to give you my tarot reading for January, blah, 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 2021, wherever the case may be. Or I'm going to give you my reading for Aquarius. So if you're Aquarius, you may want to observe this reading. If you have your own Facebook page and you record your own reading for whatever the tarot case may be, and you post it to your own page, you say not to make people follow my page because I'm just getting started with my own business. And then in the bottom of that post, you put in your links like this woman did. So as far as, hey, this is my healing messages, or this is my messages for Aquarius, or love readings for tarot, whatever the case may be, and you put a link to your services. When you post it into your own page, you may say, not to people who know about my page, they may not find it. Here comes the trick. Once that post exists on your page, you can then come down here to the button share. And when you share it, it's going to come up with some options. Here's some other stuff I did with tarot here. Say you've got lots of options to share this. Do you want to share to a random page, or you want to share to a group? When you say share to a group, it's going to allow you to share not just to every group that you've created, every group that you are a member of on Facebook. So if you are in a tarot Facebook group, or relationship kind of group, or whatever the case may be, when you click share to a group, the group names will pop up. You select which group you want to share, and that's how your post shows up, just like this woman's did. And it'll populate in, so you only have to write the headline once, you only have to write the link once, and you can just sit there and click away all day and share your videos or your readings in every single group that you belong in. Now, as I mentioned, there are people out there who consider this spam, so you may need to be careful how you do it, make sure it's relevant, otherwise you may get kicked out of your groups. And in fact, this has become so prevalent on Facebook and the groups that most Facebook groups that are members of, if you read the rules, now say you cannot go live and you cannot post a video from another page. So check all the groups before you do this, just to see what their own personal rules are before doing it, or you may get kicked out of the groups. But it's so interesting that Facebook really, as we talked about the know, like, and trust model, and going live and seeing yourself on video, or people seeing you to get to know you, that has become almost so powerful and so ubiquitous that people are preventing people from going live in Facebook groups out of the fear that people are going to know, like, and trust the people that they see in the video and find their links to their services and choose to do business with them rather than the individual who created the group, ostensibly for the opportunity to interact with that group and sell them their services, collecting people that way, right? So if you want people to join your tarot business, you may want to start your own Facebook group to say, here's a Facebook group to learn about tarot or learn about tarot readings, so you're not afraid to get a tarot reading from me. Whatever the case may be, invite a bunch of people in, and then you just you can do the know, like, and trust breakdown barriers in a Facebook group and then sell them your services. In the same way, what these people are doing is they are posting on their own page any video that they want, and then they're just choosing to share it to a group, and then they do that. So when I did it, I only posted into one group because I didn't want to get too much trouble, get caught in this. I got almost 1,000 people reached. This group did have a large number of people, probably 30,000 people in it. So I had a pretty good reach, and I don't know if I posted it once or twice over a couple days. And I made some organic posts, so it wasn't totally spammy, like, oh, this video calms me down, or whatever the case may be, but here it is, and I'll show you the two things. There are two ways that this can help you. Number one, obviously, you can reach a wider audience than just posting on your own page and hoping someone ever sees it. Because now you can use the audiences that already exist in all those Facebook groups you belong to, as long as it's the right target audience, to then post really quickly to get them to know, like, and trust you. If it breaches the line where the group owner considers it spam, you may be banned and kicked out. But for many people, they probably just join groups and don't care, and then do this on and on. So I give you information of what to do with it, but it's up to you to decide whether this is something you really want to do, or you could do it ethically without getting in too much trouble. So that's the organic way that you can reach a large amount of people with videos to break down the know, like, and trust barrier to promote your products or services on Facebook organically. So this is no cost to you, and that's why you see lots of people do it. That's why if you own a Facebook group and you've ever done it, you see totally random people asking to join. You're like, why? I don't even know who you are to invite you. Why are you joining? Because they want access to your audience, and they want to be able to just start posting tons and tons of stuff, right? There's a second reason why this is so effective, and that was the other part that I wanted to test this. It's because once you have a video that you've posted in Facebook and it's reached a certain number of people, if you are someone who runs ads on Facebook, and that's a whole nother animal, a whole nother beast, but I do that, you gain an extra piece of data because of this, that Facebook can capture those people. So what ends up happening is Facebook now knows the 985 people who watched this video, and they have all the data on it. They know who only watched it for 3 seconds. They know who watched half of it. They know who watched almost all of this video, and they can tell you that information. So now what you can do, which some people do if you do paid posts, you can now say, if I posted a video of my relationship tarot reading for this month or for these certain people, and I know of these 985 people that 500 of them watched the entire video, then those 500 people are probably interested in tarot and might be interested in tarot readings. Maybe they did or didn't click to my services below, but I know, or Facebook knows, because they collect the data, they're watching you, that they watched this entire video, and so they must be interested in this. They didn't just watch 3 seconds and say, oh, tarot readings, I'm so bored of tarot readings. They were actually interested enough that they watched the entire video, or half of it, or whatever the case may be. They collect the data, and if you run your own Facebook ads, so now you're in Facebook Ads Manager for, now we're not inside of groups, we're not inside of pages, we're beyond into a business account. So if you're an ads manager where you run Facebook ads, you can then go into the Facebook audiences and create an audience. If you do it and say, well, I want to create a brand new Facebook audience, and I want to do it, it shows you all of your videos. I want to do it for this video. This is a video that I sent into a specific group that I coded by these letters. And I said, okay, in this group, I had the video that almost 1,000 people, 985, watched in custom engagement. So now if you do this enough times and you get enough people in there, you can really get a concentrated read of how many people are actually interested in both you and tarot. Because if they start watching the video and they leave and they go, I'm not interested in tarot, whatever, I'm gone. Or if they start watching it and they don't even watch half of it because they're like, oh, I love tarot so much, I'm just not vibing with the person who's doing this reading and I don't like the way they do readings, and then they drop off. But if you know that people watch at least half of the video, 3/4 of the video, almost all of the video, then you know, even though they chose not to buy today, these are people who probably like tarot and probably at least liked or tolerated me enough that they made it through my whole reading. So then you can go in, and this is again very technical on the next level if you're doing Facebook ads, so you can do the organic way or this is the paid way. You can get Facebook to create an audience of only the people who watched the video at all. You could break it down to show me, create an audience of only the people. So if you do this multiple times and you get 10,000 people to watch the video, you can say don't create an audience of only the 5,000 people who watched the entire video or most of the video. So now you can crystallize who is the target audience that actually really likes tarot and really likes your readings and the way you do readings. And then you can create a Facebook ad, if you do Ad Manager, to create a Facebook ad to target only those individuals. So it has the potential of being more valuable long term, because if you just run a Facebook ad to random people who like tarot, because you say, I want to support my tarot readings, you might find people who are interested in tarot but not interested in tarot readings. But you may find people who absolutely love tarot and love to get tarot readings, but they have got their own tarot reader, right? So, and this is one way where you could try to find an audience that at least resonates with you enough that they've watched some of your content. You can do this with Facebook ads by itself. You can run an ad. You'll see some of those video ads. Those video ads that some of them run are really just to see what part of the audience is actually going to watch the entire video or half of the video, and then they'll run another ad to only that group that watched the majority of it. So some of those video ads are just to say, they're really weed outs, who's going to watch most of this. And if you watch most of it, then you know you like it, and then you actually run an ad to that person. So if you're not in the ballpark of doing Facebook ads, or at that point now, I just want to show you two opportunities for it. One, you can just do organic posting and see how many people you can get interested in your stuff before you get spammed out and kicked out of various groups. So you got to make sure you either get permission of the group owners, or you make sure you do it organically so it seems to fit in there, or offer something to the group of value. So that's one way you could do it if you don't want to run any ads. If you're just starting your business, you may want to do that. Or if you are going to be more fancy and run Facebook ads, then you can do this and figure out who watches the majority of your video and run ads only to those people. Now, in my experience, you would want this to be pretty big. You would want to be multiple thousands of people, because if the audience is too small, you actually end up paying more on Facebook. If you target a really small audience, they actually charge you a lot more. So I ran ads to this 1,000 people. 1,000 people is not enough, because they charge you a lot more to target and advertise to a small audience. In this case, for this experiment, I was better off running ads through Facebook just to people who like tarot, promoting my own tarot readings, because at least I wasn't charged as much as I would have been to this tiny audience. So in this case, that's why people have to do it to lots of groups and lots of stuff. You would probably be more better off posting those videos and posting those videos and posting those videos to multiple groups until you get the number of people to watch the video, not to be 1,000 like my experiment, to be 10,000, 100,000, wherever the case may be. That way you can run ads to a larger audience, and it'll be more cost effective. So that's kind of in the weeds on this one, but I would say in general with Facebook, this is the most interesting thing that I've learned within the past year to share with you. That's now next time you are in a group and you see these things, you'll kind of understand why. And then some of them even show how many, the impressions that they have. So you might be able to see how many people have watching those videos, and you'll say, oh, this must be an effective video, or they must do this a lot, or it's something you could try. But obviously try to do it ethically or organically, or giving people some value so you don't just get kicked out of all your groups and not be able to do it. And obviously, if you do want to go into doing Facebook ads and so forth, that's a whole nother animal and a whole nother beast. And to do it in this one tiny course would not be do any kind of justice for it. But this is one way that I have attracted clients, potential clients through Facebook. To be honest with you, between the three of them, I actually have had more success just paying Facebook directly for ads, not doing a lot of this, but just paying Facebook directly for ads and doing it that way. On the other platforms we'll discuss, like YouTube and Instagram, I have more success doing it organically or doing it for free and converting some people through there. And I think that's part of Facebook's business model, is to make it really hard for you to actually convert organically this way, especially to strangers. And they want to create those barriers, so you have to pay to gain access to those strangers. And that's why this is a little trick around that. But that's why I think the best way to start on Facebook would be what people would expect, is do some posts in your own groups or your own personal profiles, wherever the case may be, just saying, hey, this is what I do now. I offer these services. You maybe post some of your own videos of doing readings, break down the know, like, and trust barrier. But if you want to try to, and that's the best way to start, is to start within your own audience. But once you start to want to gain access to strangers, this is one technique you could try to use if you wanted to see how other people are gaining access to strangers, to break down the know, like, trust barrier and see if they can sell them their products or services.